We're good to go.
Hi everybody. So I can't see you, but hopefully you can see me. This is all very exciting. New functions, new technology, new way of doing things, which I think has been such a common theme for this year, hasn't it? So I'm Andrea. I'm from Enterprise Made Simple. I'm one of the directors, and my role within the business is very much about business development and marketing. So hopefully I'm going to talk to you about that this morning. So I'll start with telling you a little bit about ourselves. So EMS have traded for nearly 13 years now. We got made redundant on the Friday, and the directors of this company started the business on the Monday. So certainly jumped in with both feet, but hopefully we've never looked back and regretted it. So we are a training and events company. Our training is very much around enterprise and business, and our events are very much around supporting our local business community. So some of the ways in which we can help you. We want to help you to look at developing your business and taking it to the next stage, the next level. What else can you do with what you've got? It's looking at helping you to be more efficient and effective so you can keep your profit margins as big as possible. Helping you to look for new ideas, so very much around new income streams, new routes to market, what you can add to your business. And fundamentally, it's helping the business owner and the senior managers to have a bit of time away from doing the job to actually work on your business and look at what is the next stage and how you want to develop and how you want to move your business forward. And no matter how long your business has traded, that is really, really important. Lots of our growth programs are fully funded, so that means the EU pays for them, not you. So if you are based anywhere from North Yorkshire to Northumberland, we can help. One thing that's really, really important to us is that our trainers have experience of being self-employed, so they know what it's like to be in your shoes, and they know the pressures and fun and joy and exhilaration and stress of being self-employed as well. So we are talking the talk. So you were probably expecting my colleague, Carol Metcalf, and if you know Carol, you know she's one of our training supremos. She's our director of training. Unfortunately, she came down yesterday with some symptoms of COVID, so is awaiting test results, but she really wasn't very well yesterday, so we thought it would be best to swap things around. And Carol wanted to talk about I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. Now, one thing we think is really important is being ourselves. So I didn't want to come along and do Carol's presentation because I'm not Carol. So I have altered a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, and much more to fit in with my role within the company. Now, bubbles is definitely a word that we are using an awful lot this year. And so we're going to switch that a little bit and talk about your bubbles at work. So since day one, networking has been vitally important to our business. Yes, fundamentally, the reason we do networking is to help us find new clients, bring in new work, look for referral partners, but also we want to build a business community around us, and we want to be part of that local business community, and networking is such a good way to do that. So as I go through a few points, there is a question and answer function on the screen. If you could just pop in why you network, okay, so that we can get some idea of why everybody else networks. There's no right or wrong answer. It's what you get out of it, what it means to you, why you put your time into that activity. That some of it is always about money, and as a business owner, I don't want to go to networking and do networking on a regular basis if it's not fundamentally going to bring in new work for me. There is also the support side. If you are a sole trader, you are working on your own, even if you have staff, sometimes the conversations you have with them aren't the same as talking to a peer, and so often the networking activities that you do really can provide a support group around you. So look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Networking in 2020 has changed beyond all recognition, and as a business that relies quite heavily on networking to bring in new clients, we've had to look at what we do and what networking means to us and how we can do things differently. And hopefully, you guys have been doing the same. But haven't we come a long way since March? Can you remember when none of us had heard of Zoom? It was, you know, it was a new term to us. Now everybody's saying, "Oh, do you want a Zoom over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine?" How many times have we heard the phrase, "You're on mute"? Okay, we are getting better at what we're doing, and 6 months down the line, networking online is a much different prospect. So here are my top 5 tips. So when you go online to do an online networking session, what everybody else can see is your shop window. It represents you, it represents your business and your brand. So if you've got a stack of ironing waiting to be done and everybody can see it, it's not necessarily the best first impression that people have. So just think about what's in people's views. Lots of people are using the corporate backgrounds, which is a great idea. You can have your contact details on there, etc. Just think about where your head is, though. Is your head right in the middle of your business? Think about having it down the side so that everybody can still see the information while you're talking. Don't put too much information on there because it becomes too small and people can't read it. But otherwise, just think about that environment. Doesn't matter what the rest of the room's like, that can be a tip. Lights, camera, action. So think about some of the practicalities. Try to make sure that your camera is face to face with you, that you're not looking up or looking down. Try to face a window so that it's quite light and you're not full of shadows. I have been on some events where honestly it's like people are just a silhouette and you're like, who is that person? Are they in, you know, MI5 or something and they're a secret agent, we're not allowed to see who they are? Just think about the practicalities of what you look like as well. Be prepared. So one of the tools that lots of the Zoom or the Teams have is that there's a chat box, and people are getting into the habit now of putting an introduction as to who they are, what they do, and their contact details. So why not have that typed up ready so that you can literally just cut and paste it? And one of the recent updates is that chat facility can be saved, so then you have everybody else's details as well. Think of it as a business meeting, because it is. Try not to multitask. Try not to turn the camera off and take a phone call. Try not to be answering some emails, looking down at your phone and tapping away, because other people can see that and it's very obvious, and it just makes you not look interested, not very professional. It is understandably tempting to do that because you are just sat, and it is easy to think I can do something else at the same time, but everybody else can tell that's what you're doing. And then finally, have a bit of a plan. You will often only get 60 seconds or so to introduce yourself if the host does an introduction round. Think about what it is that you want to say and what you want to get out of, what you want to put across. Especially if you are a bit of an introvert and you're not the gobby one like I might be, who I would jump in on most conversations, because then you might find that you are just sat back listening, and you do need other people to know who you are. So just plan a little introduction out, write down what it is that you want to say so that you know that you're going to get your point across. You don't want to miss that opportunity. So I want to know who's in your bubble. So our bubble is the people who surround us within our business. A As I said, we rely quite heavily on networking, and we are thinking differently about it and trying to make sure that it works and it's effective, because you could spend so much time in front of a camera sat at home but not actually getting much out of it. So you do need to be a little bit more strategic and a little bit can't think of the right word, brutal in which ones that you do, because it has to work for you. So, few questions to ask. Are you just going to where you normally network face to face? So that could be the Chamber of Commerce, FSB, BNI. Are you now just, instead of doing the face to face version, you're just doing the online version? So you are still meeting the same kind of people, you feel comfortable with it, you're definitely in your comfort zone. And so therefore, are you meeting your regulars? We all know that when we used to meet for a cup of tea and a bacon sandwich, whatever, there would be people that we would know. So we could quite easily go up to them, say hello and have a bit of chat, and you stay within your comfort zone. Is that what's happening now online? And do you want to push yourself a little bit? This could be a really, really amazing opportunity to change the way in which you do networking. And so there's a couple of really key points that I want us to go through. So, first one is your support bubble. Looking at the people that you want around you. Now, in all honesty, we are probably going to be working like this for at least the next 6 to 12 months, and it's quite a long time, and we need to get our head around that. It looks like we're going to have have restrictions put on us, restrictions taken away. Life's going to sort of change on an ongoing basis, and we have to be able to sort of work around that. So if you are going to be working from home a lot, or you're going to be isolated from your team or your business partners or your colleagues, then it's really important to think about who is going to support you through these times. So I would love to know anybody that you would like in your support bubble. I don't mean like Richard Branson or the next lottery winner, but what function, what role they might take. So again, please do share those ideas. So the first person I've put on there is somebody who will help you with your motivation. Somebody that you know that you can rely on to maybe give you that kick up the bum, to help you focus and keep your priorities, not lose sight of why you're in this journey of being a business owner. And to really help you sort of keep motoring on, because we are going to have some bad days, and hopefully not let that turn into a bad week or a bad month, but it is going to be a bit of a roller coaster. So somebody to help with that motivation is really important. Somebody who you can have a whinge at. So this is somebody who would be quite a trusted person, somebody whose opinion you trust, who might be a really good listener and just let you get it off your chest. In any normal circumstances, being a business owner is quite a stressful thing to do. Add in a global pandemic, then it is a really stressful thing to be doing. And it is so, so important for your own mental health that you have somebody that you can offload on a little bit, who, doesn't, not family, because that adds the stress within your own family bubble, and that's not good. But somebody that you can trust, who's going to help just let you offload and not going to share that information all over LinkedIn. What about having somebody who's really practical, somebody who says, right, we need to do this, this and this, what is it we can do, not focusing on what you can't do, and be somebody there who really helps you to maybe have a bit of ownership, and can hold you responsible. Come on, last week you said you were going to do this, what have you done? Okay. This would probably be me, so your problem solver. Who can you talk to that's going to help you view things differently? And that's something that we've had to do quite a lot in 2020. So back in March, February, we were running training weekends with sort of 40 or 50 people on every course as a residential. absolutely no way we can do that anymore. And so we have to be able to view the business in a different way and look at what solutions you could put into place, and to take down some of those barriers that might be there. So who could be your problem solver be? And you certainly want people who are a glass half full kind of person. If you have lots of negative people around you, it is going to impact on you, and that's not a good place to be. You want people who are normally quite optimistic and will help you to keep that perspective on life. Think about where you can find these people as well. It could be a Facebook group. We have one at work called In Cahoots with Phil, and that's a really positive place for people to be, and people can ask questions, share ideas, and it's very much about what you can do, not what you can't do. So you'd be more than welcome to join us in there. But think about finding these people from your network, from people that you know, from people who you chat with on LinkedIn, and to see who you can surround yourself by. A really interesting flip on this is to think about which role would you fill. So if you're a support person for somebody else, which one of those roles would suit you best? And obviously, if there are other roles that you think would be useful, then please do let me know. So, next question for me to ask yourself, because you're not here with me, is how far can you spread your bubbles? So, can you remember the little toys you had as kids where you used to blow the soap bubbles? And you wanted the biggest ones, you wanted to see how far they could go. It was great to watch them float up into the sky. How far can you spread your bubble? This could be such an amazing opportunity to see what impact networking can have on your business. This may be a bit more strategic in the way that you've networked before. Often when we in the old way of networking, you would be looking to see what fits in your diary, what time, what you can get to, where you can travel to. It doesn't need to be like that anymore. So one of the things that I would like to think about is, can you be a little bit more industry specific? So lots of the networking can be general B2B, which is really good. And I'm not saying there isn't, because we do that as well. But think about maybe who is in your target audience, who's on your hit list. So it could be that you want to work with more financial businesses, or that you want to work with landlords, or businesses that are in the oil and gas industry. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Think about who those industry specifics are, and then try to find some networking online. So it could be through a professional body. Use Eventbrite to search for, look on businesses' websites. So before their networking event might happen, on a regular basis, but at their head office, which might be in Glasgow or Leeds, and just so practically wouldn't be a good idea for you to do. Doesn't matter now, does it? You don't even have to take your slippers off. You can network with more targeted people who you really want to work with, and to do it all online. Next one would be looking at that geographical spread. So as I mentioned, often it would be looking at your diary and seeing where you can travel to. You can do more than one in a day at a varied geographical basis. You might want to look to see how you can just naturally grow that area in which you work with. So it might be looking at Northumberland or Cumbria or North Yorkshire, just where those boundaries go to. Or it could be a completely different area. We've got some clients, one in particular is getting clients now from Russia and China, which would have never happened before this year. And it's because she's been doing so much more online and has allowed her service to be accessed online. That's changed the way, the type of customer she's getting. I'm a member of BNI, and one of our fellow members has been to a networking event in New York. Didn't have to get on a flight or go to all of that expense, was just able to do it online. We actually had a lady visit us from South Africa. Her dad was born and bred in Middlesbrough, and she really wanted to be able to say that she'd come to a BNI meeting in Middlesbrough, heard the accents and talked to everybody. So she came along to visit us. So there's so many more different opportunities available that doesn't keep us in a box. Next one would be just to try something new. If you just keep going to the same places, you're just going to keep having the same conversations and meeting the same people. So be brave, try something new, try something that you haven't done before. Even the groups that are a paid for membership, most of them will allow you to come as a visitor for free to try it out and to see what it's like. You never know, it could be the best thing you've ever done for your business. It could completely change the way you do things. I won't mention names, but we've got a new member to our BNI, and she had an option. She could either buy a bit of equipment or she could join BNI, and she chose to join BNI. And after literally just a couple of months, she said it's the best business decision she's ever made, because she suddenly has a sales team. She has other people who's got her back and who are helping her, and that's both in finding new work, but as well as having business conversations, sharing ideas, support, help, all the rest of it. So just try something new. You don't know what you're going to get. If it doesn't work, that's fine. You tried it, move on. Think more strategically. Don't necessarily just think about this week in your business. Think about the bigger picture. And it may be that you need to go through some stepping stones to get to where you actually want to be. And networking might just help you move through some of those stepping stones, having the right conversations with the right people. And that's so much easier to access now. And always, this is a bit of a cheeky one, don't just always try the free ones. Have a mixture. You will find that if people have paid to come networking or have paid to be a member of a group, then they are a lot more serious about what they want to put into it and what they want to get out of it. And it has a slightly different attitude to the meeting than all of the free ones. Have a mix, mix it up. Don't just keep to the same thing. So you would be very welcome to visit our networking. So ideally, we want to run one networking event a month face-to-face and one online. At the moment, they're both going to be online. It is free to attend, even though I just said to avoid all the free ones. It is free to attend, but we ask for a donation to a local charity, which is My Sister's Place. Just for the price of a cup of coffee, if you can support them, then that would be really super. We don't have the cost of travel or booking tickets or buying coffees, all the rest of it. So if you could just donate one cup of coffee, that would be brilliant. Our next event is this Friday. So what I would like to say to you is push your comfort zone a bit. Don't just do what you've always done. Think about this online networking as a massive opportunity for you to really do something different, have different conversations, meet different people, and be more strategic in the way that you do things. I would be very happy to have a conversation with any of you about it. And I love a phone call or a Zoom, and you can find me on LinkedIn. So that's me done. Sorry, I'm finished a little bit early. It's hard when nobody's talking back to you, isn't it? I'm so used to having conversations and not just talking. One of the really bizarre things for me doing this is in our training, we ban PowerPoint. We don't use slides. It's all very interactive. So it's been challenging for me not to be constantly asking you guys questions and getting you to do things, which I would normally do. Hopefully next year, if we get the summit back face to face, we'll do something interactive. So that's me done for today. So that's Andrea from Enterprise Made Simple. Your business is our business.
Oh, that's
Thank you.
great. Thank you, Andrea. We do have a couple of kind of questions, but also some bits in here that we can just have a little chat through if you like. So Neil Slade, thank you, Neil. Thank you for putting that in, and good morning. He mentions that he networks because he knows that he can share and gain knowledge, creating those opportunities and meeting new people. So that's a really great one.
Absolutely. The sharing knowledge is a great one, because you are an expert in your own journey, in your own business, and your experience can help somebody else. And so that's hopefully a two-way thing as well. So you might be absolutely rubbish at financial stuff, but when you're networking, you might come across somebody who's an expert in that, and most people are really helpful and supportive and will help you out. Obviously, there'll be a point where it becomes a commercial activity, but the people that I know are very supportive and will happily share knowledge. And often there will be guest speakers at networking events as well, so you can pick up little pockets of knowledge as you go around.
Good tip. That's really good. And we've got one here from Ellie Lowther. Good morning, Ellie. Thank you for putting this in. She's got great advice, Andrea. I now realise quite a few of my bubbles see me as the motivator and the problem solver, which is good. Maybe the realisation of the role we play can help us to fine tune that aspect for greater impact. That's a really good point.
It is. Thanks, Ellie. Nice to see you. Not that I can see you. Absolutely. And I don't think we're always that self-aware that we are a support to somebody else, and what that hat is that we're wearing. But yeah, it's even when I was doing this, I realized absolutely I'm the problem solver. I want to be able to help somebody. If somebody says to me they've got an issue with something, straight away I'm thinking, right, who do I know? Who can I put them into contact? Connect them with, who can help them out. I love to play that role. It's just naturally who I am. So yeah, definitely. Good one, Ellie.
Oh, that's really good. And just one from me, really, Andrea. So would you say LinkedIn is probably the best place to look for those people that you can add into your networks? Or, do you think most of them are referral basis? Just to get your advice on that one.
It'll be a mixture, really. So lots of people have an awful lot of contacts on LinkedIn, but we don't necessarily know them very well. We might not have met with them, worked with them, or had those like more in-depth conversations. Some we will, some we won't. So I suppose it's really being aware that you need people around you, and different places will give you different things. So so say for example LinkedIn, I wouldn't use LinkedIn as my place to whinge, because that's not the message you'd want to put out there. That would be somebody that you've met and formed a relationship and built something with, so that you can trust that person. So there would be people from LinkedIn. There would be people from maybe your customers, even your suppliers, and people that you meet at networking events, people who you might be in a Facebook group with. So they could come from different places, really. It's knowing who you can turn to, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And we've got a good message here from Karen Robinson. Good morning, Karen. Whether it's a networking event or a conference like this, or a one-to-one catch-up, we all need to keep in touch with each other and offer support. Totally. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, you never know what's going on for people, do you? You don't know what's happened that morning, what's happening at work, what's happening in their family, etc. So yeah, it's being kind, being nice, treating other people like they were somebody in your own family, and sort of looking out for each other.
Yes, well, I think that's it in terms of questions.
We just can't hug anybody anymore.
I know, I can't wait. So I think that's all the questions we've got for today. So thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you to Andrea for being here. Don't forget we've got the exhibition area still open, so have a little look around there and make some connections. Do a little bit of networking yourself, add to your groups and expand your bubbles. And also we've got some sessions coming up at 11 o'clock today. So thanks again for everybody's help today, and thank you, Andrea, for speaking.
Thanks so much for having me. Take care.
Lovely. Thank you, everyone. Cheers. Bye.